Hey beautiful people, my name is Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I have been cleaning all day long. I have dirt and dust up my nose, need to go shower, but I have been inspired. Well-Traveled Books did a 22 books in 22 to unhaul, and I thought, as I am dusting literally every single book, I'm going to do that. I'm going to find them. So I started a stack. So I'm going to share with you 22 books that I am going to take to the secondhand store and get credit. If there is one of these books that you think I should, keep for whatever reason, maybe there's a sequel coming out, or, you have an argument why it needs to be held on to it, I would receive that. I also, if you're in the US, we can ship media for a very small, reasonable amount. So I'm always happy to pass on books if you see one that you've really been wanting to read and I'm passing it on, because these are not necessarily bad books. These are just books that I do not intend to read again. So I'm trying to make some room. I'm cleaning. So the first two are kind of cheats in a way, because I did a diet program earlier in the year, and it's one of those where you buy their food and you do their program, and I lost all the weight. But then as soon as my off fit, I slowly gained it right back, and that's not a permanent thing. So there were two books. There is a life book and a health habit book. So these two, I'm not doing that again. We're just gonna pass those on. I'm not sure if those can be resold or what happens to them, but we're just gonna start out with an easy two. Then all these others are up. All Your Perfects, Colleen Hoover. This is my first Colleen Hoover. I enjoyed it. It was sweet. It was a story that basically was a guy and a girl that their significant others were having an affair on them, and then they end up getting together. It was cute. I'm not going to read it again, but it was a good introduction to Colleen Hoover. Dare to Be Kind. This is the story of Lizzie Velasquez, who was made fun of on the internet for being the world's ugliest woman, is what they deemed her. But she is a beautiful, beautiful person. And this is just kind of her account of being picked on and bullied, and then rising up to become basically a motivational speaker on overcoming bullying. I am passing on T.J. Klune's Under the Whispering Door. I enjoyed this book. I don't intend to read it again. I do intend to read The Cerulean Sea. So I do want to read more of him, just not that one. That one is basically a house that's a transition between life and heaven. Then this is A History of Wild Places. I thought this was going to be a 5-star book for me. It is a kind of magical realism, mystery story, disappearing in the woods kind of thing. But the end was just so annoying to me. I ended up not even really liking the book because I didn't like the way it ended. Sometimes that happens. I have bought my collectible cloth-bound version of Vanity Fair, and this is not my favorite classic, so I'm going to pass this one on. These are lovely classic, Wordsmith classic editions. Tell Me Everything. This is a story of an investigator who basically, I don't even remember. I looked at this book and I said, I don't even remember exactly what happened. I remember it was okay and I liked it. Something where she started investigating something and it tied into her own past and it got complicated. That's the way I remember it, but I don't want to reread it. The Terrible Reasons Why I Run Long Distances. It's a cute running book. It's cartoon format, but I don't feel the need to hold on to it because it might bless somebody else. Now this one is kind of tricky right here. The Song of Achilles, because I haven't reviewed this yet. I just read it this month and I really, really liked it. So spoiler alert, I really like it, but I will do my full review at the end of the month. I just don't intend to reread it or hold on to it on my bookshelf, but I really did like it. So I'll review that one shortly in an upcoming video. I am going to pass on Pachinko. I really did enjoy it. I group read this with Jim at Jim Books, and it was a fantastic time. But again, The beginning was stronger than the end, and I know it's a book that I will not reread, so I'm going to pass it on so somebody else can enjoy it. All my Christmas books that I just read: The Christmas Mouse, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Rescue Murdered Gentleman, The Christmas Cupcake Murder, The Cat Who Came for Christmas. I'm going to pass them all on for somebody else to enjoy it. I thought about decorating with them, you know, putting Christmas books out, but to be honest, I don't have space. I've got really the perfect arrangement of all my little nativity sets and little cute kind of whimsical stuff that I like to have out that makes me happy, and we're just going to pass those on because they can be used by somebody and enjoyed by somebody, and instead of just collecting dust on my shelf. So it is a really cute idea, though, to put your Christmas books out as decoration. I am going to pass on Nevermore. I did enjoy this, but I do not feel like I'm going to continue the series. I know this is a series, and it's not, you know, it's not a bad book. She basically is going, she's like a 12-year-old girl that's cursed to die on her 12th birthday, but she gets sucked into this magical place to start a new life and adventure. This one, The Guardians, this is a nonfiction account of a girl dealing with grieving a friend who passed away suddenly in a tragic accident, and just kind of her reflections. It's very stream of consciousness, and I really did like it, but when I was really honestly looking at my books, I probably won't reread it. Heart's Invisible Furies, I buddy read this with Nikki at Red Dot Reads, and we had a great time. I almost DNF'd it. Then I ended up giving it 4 stars. So I did like it once I was in the right frame of mind, because it has over-the-top kind of ridiculous happenings to kind of deal with the fact that it's really, really heavy in a lot of themes and topics that it's dealing with. So very interesting. Very glad I read it. I don't plan to ever read it again. As well as Beneath a Scarlet Sky. This was a kind of documentary, if you will, in a way, of a man who is interviewing someone who went through the occupation and having to deal with the, you know, prison camps and all that kind of stuff. And it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I understand the criticisms against it, but I really, again, just really liked it, but don't intend to read it again, so somebody else can enjoy it. Blake Crouch's Upgrade. This one is not as good to me, in my opinion, as the other couple that I had read by him. So this is the one I'd probably not reread. I was tempted maybe to keep them just because they're all kind of cool and look the same kind of format. But I think, again, I'd rather just have somebody else enjoy this. It's basically the upgrade is the DNA, and they actually alter people to like become superhuman. It's a really interesting premise, and it was a good read. Just, I think, like, so it's one of those things that once you know the story, maybe it's less exciting to read it again. I don't know. And then finally, number 22, True Biz. I really did enjoy a lot about this book. It's a sign language school that the students are very, very vulnerable and gritty and raw about how they're treated as the deaf community. There's an administrator's point of view in here, but basically in the end, it really deals with the kind of political side of running a deaf school, and kind of felt kind of bitter and angry, if you will, at the system. And so that, and it didn't really resolve the stories of these students that we got really invested in. I mean, there's some ending, but it wasn't like a full resolution. Like, it was more a political statement. So really, really enjoyed the creativity, going into the lives, being educated in a lot of things that I didn't know about these things, but definitely not something I want to spend my time rereading or reliving in. But you know, it's worthy for someone else to maybe pick that up and enjoy it. So those are my 22 and 22 that I'm going to pass on. And I'm sure I could say I'm buying 23 and 23, but I'm sure I'll end up buying more than 23 and 23. So we'll see. Stay tuned for some hauls. I'm going to go get cleaned up, put those in a bag to go to the secondhand store. I'll get this posted, so if you want to leave me a comment about saving any of them, or maybe you would be interested in picking one up, we can have some correspondence of that. Catch me before I go to the store. It is Christmas this week, so I won't be doing it for at least a week. Y'all take care. Have a Merry Christmas. Y'all have a great New Year.